Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on.
Because you always use that active red light defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again. Am I live? Of course I'm live. Obviously, where Arsenal are concerned, people, it's still the transfer window being open, and we've been linked with a whole host of players throughout the month. And obviously today, now allegedly, Declan Rice favours us over Real Madrid. We've been linked with Onana of Everton, who have also been put up for sale as a football club. Moises Caicedo of Brighton, allegedly hijacking Chelsea's move for both players, people. Zubamendi of Sociedad allegedly wants an Arsenal move. So again, in relation to the transfers and whatnot, let's see what's going on. Now, as I normally say, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. As usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope you're blessed. I hope you're well and safe. I hope you and your loved ones obviously in good health. And I hope you're having a strong start to the week, people. And hopefully it ends the same way it started, if that is the case, or gets better if it hasn't. Now, if you allow me to share my screen with you guys, we can get into what the papers are saying, people. Once again, the dream is free. You know, the hustle is sold separately. Again, I don't know why it froze there. My screen's acting. Let me change the settings on the screen. But apparently, he will not negotiate with Florentino Perez because he has given his word to Arsenal's Mikel Arteta. A star chooses Arsenal and not Real Madrid. Declan Rice is one of the coveted that Real Madrid had on their agenda to strengthen the squad for next season. Florentino Perez has been closely following the West Ham United captain for a long time, and in the past he came to explore his incorporation, but did not present any firm offer after learning that it was Google Translate not helping us. I assume they mean he was not transferable, and that the player himself had no intention of leaving / changing scenery. We do hear Declan Rice wants to move it to a London club and wants to stay close to home. I wouldn't think that would rule out any of the teams more north in the Premier League. And PSG and all the PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. You know, you as Declan Rice at West Ham, you really reject that? You really reject a move for Real Madrid, who seem to be going after, you know, Jude Bellingham. Maybe they want the both of them. Maybe, you know, Declan Rice is seen as an alternative should they not bring that. Now, for Declan Rice, if he did go to Real Madrid, it's a massive club, Champions League in abundance, really and truly. But you'd have what? Camavinga, whose rumours he could have went to Arsenal on loan have been quashed. You've got Camavinga, Valverde, Tchouaméni, potentially your international teammate, and for this example, club teammate would be potentially bringing in Jude Bellingham. And there's a couple of other players that I'm probably missing out on. And, you know, Modric and Toni Kroos won't be there forever. They will for another significant period of time. And, you know, Real Madrid have been linked with any decent midfielder. They'll always be linked with. And also on top of that, people, when it says they've given, you know, a player has given their word, that's great. But as we've seen probably with, you know, even today, Dan Juma's given his words he'll sign for Everton, allegedly had an Everton medical, and now he's about to become a Spurs player. We've obviously seen the Mudryk stuff. We finessed Marseille and Spurs for Trossard. We got finessed for Mudryk and probably João Felix, and you can extend that to Man United. These things are not new to football. These things happen, and especially in the day and age of, I hate to say it, but football is a business. In a place of business, does word of mouth count? Yes, when somebody feels the same way and stuff, as we've seen with some aspects. But if it's not I's dotted, T's crossed, boy, it doesn't matter really. And even regardless of if Declan Rice has given his word that he'll join Arsenal, as you've seen, it's down to Arsenal and, you know, Arsenal's executives to get a fee agreed with West Ham so that he can come true on his word. If Arsenal can't do that, then it doesn't matter how many times he's spoken to Arteta or Edu. Doesn't matter how passionate he is about Arsenal, and that's it. He'd have to look at another club, really. But the situation has changed radically. The 24-year-old midfielder is very disenchanted with David Moyes' project. They're fighting relegation at this moment in time, people. I think West Ham won't be in problems, but it's an open race. Far from the goal they had set, which was to continue qualifying for European competitions, that has led them to want to pack his bags led him to want to pack his bags in the summer. And you look at Brighton, Fulham, them kind of teams there, what they're doing in the Premier League with 19 odd games played. West Ham are probably kicking themselves. Maybe Declan Rice would have left anyways. Probably, maybe that could have forced his hand, really. Allegedly, people, Declan Rice's contract is up in 2024, but he does have the option in his deal of extending it by another year, people. Allegedly, West Ham are asking for 100 million. Privately, they'll take 80. This is what we've seen in reports that we've seen earlier. Taking advantage of the fact that he only has a contract until 2024, he has notified the London board that he has no plans to renew and that he hopes to leave as soon as possible. At the moment, they've already placed a starting price of close to 90 million euros, which was the minimum figure that all his admirers will demand. A high investment, which at the Santiago Bernabeu was considering whether it was worth making. However, there is no chance that he'll end up joining the team currently managed by Carlo Ancelotti. Isn't Ancelotti keeping it moving at the end of the season and retiring? And it is that Rice has already decided where his next challenge will be and what his next club will be. He will not abandon his hometown since he has given his word to Arsenal to become one of the first galactic reinforcements to close the Gunners in the summer. Arteta is very satisfied with the squad that he has available to him, which is the leader in the Premier League, but he's asked for several new faces. One of them is the former Chelsea man. The agreement with the footballer is completely closed, and he'll reject Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and the rest of the teams that had his name on their agenda. Rice will become the most expensive deal in Arsenal's history. Arteta has no doubt that Rice is a necessary addition and that I think they mean he has what it takes to succeed at the Emirates Stadium. For this reason, he has demanded they pay everything that the Hammers asked for, even if this means that the English international will become the most expensive operation in Arsenal's history. In this way, he'll surpass Nicolas Pepe, who landed in 2019 from Lille in exchange for 80 kilos. I think they mean 80 M's. Maybe it was a drug deal, and it was a complete failure. In fact, he is currently playing on loan at Nice, and him and Maitland-Niles have seen their club numbers given to Leandro Trossard and obviously Kira, respectively, number 15 and 19. So it all depends what you read there. Fabrizio Romano is alleged to have said, I am told that right after the Mudryk story, Arsenal had a meeting planned for the present. Leandro Trossard, Kirior, and more. And the future in that meaning, Declan Rice was mentioned also as a possibility, a player they really like, people. I think this just carries on saying the same thing, people. Again, I don't know if there's any credibility to reading that. Once again, the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Smash the like button. Comment your thoughts either in the live chat or in the comment section after. Check out my previous vids because we spoke about Onana a bit earlier today. Allegedly, Onana's reportedly missed Everton training amid Gunners links, people. Arsenal have been linked with Everton's Amadou Onana in recent days. Allegedly, journalist Sacha Chivellari reported on Monday that the Gunners want to sign the 21-year-old midfielder. Meanwhile, Graham Bailey has claimed to the 90-minute Talking Transfers podcast that Arsenal have made contact over a potential move for Onana, allegedly, people. So, yeah, man, and apparently he's mistraining, people. So we'll have to see. Apparently he's got a £50 million price tag placed on him. I want to see the original article, people. Please just be cheeky little way to get us to look at your podcast, ain't it? So yeah, I will take Onana, to be fair with you. We looked at him when he was at Leo. I wouldn't push the boat out, and to be honest, I wouldn't spend 50 million quid on him unless Mikel Arteta gives it the go ahead. But I think he's got the good physical and technical qualities to thrive, and you can see why he was linked with us, why he's at Leo, and he's done all right for Everton. Everton probably, they need money. The club's up for sale. They've just got rid of their gaffer. It's a transitional period. I don't know if in January it's wise to get rid of a key player for you while you're fighting to stay in the division. I don't know if there's any credibility in this beyond the fact of we want a midfielder, and we've been linked with a lot of midfielders this window, and a lot of wingers, obviously, between Mudryk, João Felix, who can play out there, and the rest of them. It seems like in the last 24, 48 hours, or the last couple of transfer videos I've done with you guys, it seems like there's a focus on linking Arsenal to central midfielders. As you could probably see here, Weston McKennie's been linked, Onana's been linked, Caicedo's been linked, a couple of midfielders, Zubamendi's been linked throughout, but a couple of central midfielders have been linked, so maybe there is something there, obviously, where Telemans, Douglas Luiz, Danilo, all concerned, they've either not signed, well, they're fundamentally not signed for the club. Telemans, we don't know. Danilo's gone to Nottingham Forest. Douglas Luiz signed a new deal. The one common link is we failed to bring a midfielder in in the winter. And allegedly, even if I can find it, allegedly, some people say there's concern at Arsenal with regards to that. Dean Jones has commented on Give Me Sport. He said, there's a concern at Arsenal, and there's been since the start of the season. What if we end up with an absence in central midfield? There has been times when it's happened and it's not been ideal for them, but they ultimately got through it and they are still top of the league. They would like the right fit again. They're not going to go and sign someone just for the sake of it. I would like a central midfielder or midfielders in, but yeah, there's no point bringing in players that can't bring nothing to the table. And we're probably playing a dangerous game, just hoping and praying and doing kumbaya that people stay fit. Let's just make sure we actually have the numbers, people, because big fan of Partey or Xhaka, you lose both players, you're in problems. You lose either or, it's a massive kick in the teeth. El Nene gives us a level below them, but some sort of consistency. Unfortunately, I like Lokonga. I think he will get it right either at this club or elsewhere. Bit of a loose cannon in what we're betting on. Arteta is then probably forced to tweak the system and flirt with the Zinchenkos, the Fabio Vieiras, the Martin Odegaards, the Smith Rowes, probably playing in that Xhaka role. To be fair, you have got Kyrian now, who apparently can play defensive midfield, but again, probably not to the way Partey would play as that 6. But there are options in terms of pure centre mid options in the middle of the park, people who are likely to line up with Xhaka or Partey or in place of them is what I mean by that, people. But you do have players that can play there. You know, Odegaard long term, or if there is injuries, God forbid, might go into the Xhaka role. Trossard could even play the 10, and obviously you got the Smith Rowes, etc., etc. So it all depends where you read and what you believe. People smash the like button. Allegedly, Zubamendi prefers the Premier League to Barcelona. I thought he'd go from Sociedad to Barcelona. Xavi wants you, and he thinks you're the Busquets replacement. Decent player, people. Good technically, likes the tackle. Bit fairly robust, you know, like him a lot. Good passing range, everything you'd expect of a Spanish number 6, really. Signed a new deal in October. Allegedly does not want to leave his club mid-season because they're still indirectly in with a chance of finishing very high in La Liga and still in Europe. But allegedly, this article said the midfielder has refused to go to Arsenal now just to end the season with Real. Could I see us bringing in Declan Rice and spending whatever they want on him, people? I'm not too sure. Apparently, he's got a 50-odd million release clause, or will it be Declan Rice or Zubamendi? You know, whichever one seems more feasible. If he's got a release clause, then things can happen. His idea would be to go to England in the future, so his signing as a Barcelona player would be ruled out. Let's see again. Google Translate has not been helpful, people. Martin Zubamendi is one of the most valued midfielders on the market. The footballer has rejected $1 million offer from Arsenal to leave in the January market. But according to this outlet, the footballer has only done so out of loyalty to Real Sociedad and to end the season in the best way with the San Sebastian club. In the future, if there is a good agreement for all parties, Zubamendi would prioritize leaving for England over a Barcelona team that has loved him but finds it very difficult to pay for his transfer. So that's not just us. A number of clubs could take advantage of such. The midfielder could now have gone to Arsenal because the London club was willing to pay his release clause of around 60 million euros. The young footballer from San Sebastian has preferred to stay in the Real project, considering that it could be an exciting year in all competitions. In fact, the Basque team has even fully entered the fight for the league championship indirectly. His momentary no to Arsenal cannot be read then in Barca code. The footballer has not resigned to wait for Barcelona, although he knows that Xavi wants him. His environment is also aware of the interest as well as the doubt that the payments for his signing generates. Obviously, the Barcelona board do a madness and they're in financial issues, people. Apparently, this opens the doors, people, for Zubamendi to move to the Premier League and specifically to Arsenal. His reps are the same of those of coach Mikel Arteta. So if they've got the same agent, there we have it. So the relationship is very fluid, but the footballer is comfortable at Real, and we will have to see when his departure is considered. Difficult to do business in January. He's only rejected Arsenal for now and would be interested in joining us in the summer, allegedly, people. So once again, we'll have to see, because a lot of other clubs would. Apparently, Juventus offer Weston McKennie to Premier League clubs. He's been linked with Arsenal, Leeds, Aston Villa, and Newcastle, people. Allegedly, all of these clubs have an interest in signing McKennie on loan with the option to purchase the player outright in the summer if he impresses. Tottenham have also had an interest, but it hasn't gone anywhere. Chelsea and Liverpool have also been linked previously, but it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Once again, 90 Minute understands the player has been offered to a number of Premier League clubs and that some of those clubs responded positively to the proposal. That doesn't mean he's any closer to getting a move. That doesn't mean anything, really and truly. But It is what it is. Arsenal consider plan to hijack Chelsea's move for Brighton star Moises Caicedo this summer after being gazumped by the Blues to the signing of Mudryk. I mean, Declan Rice, Caicedo, Onana, Zubamendi, you know, bring them all really, innit? I mean, can it be third time lucky? We lost out for João Felix. And obviously Madrid, we can force the Chelsea one with Jesus, let's say 2-1 people, and they rejected Eddie Nketiah, you know, and look what he's doing in the Premier League now. Where's Hudson-Odoi? So there's always a W where there's an L. But allegedly, people, Arsenal reportedly eyeing up a move for Brighton midfielder Moises Caicedo and will rival Chelsea in the chase for the Ecuador international this summer. As you know, he's been widely linked with a move to Stamford Bridge this month and is liking things on the socials. But the Blues have seen 2 bids rejected for him, with the Seagulls declaring their star man is not for sale. The midfielder was reportedly keen on the transfer, but is not willing to force through a departure from Brighton, and Chelsea are now resigned to missing out on him in January. And according to the Evening Standard, the Gunners may now potentially rival the Blues when they revisit a move for the Ecuadorian in the summer. Now, we've been linked with a lot of midfielders. You know, there's no way we're going to spend over 50 million on Caicedo, over $1 million on Declan Rice and Zubamendi. Maybe you could get 2 of them in, because I think there is a scope to bring a couple of midfielders, but maybe it's plan A's and B's and C's. And as you know, there's moving parts. Different players want to do different things. So I just think some of them are probably higher up the others. For what it is with Caicedo, obviously, where Brighton are concerned, we bought a couple of players literally off them now. We kind of know how each other works, how we like to structure payments. So that could obviously boost us. For Chelsea, they've got the money. Put down the money, simple as that. Obviously, the added bonus of Graham Potter, the former gaffer there. And Brighton have shown they're no pushovers. They've made top money on and profit on Cucurella, Will on Caicedo, who they rivaled for Manchester United for his signature allegedly. McAllister could probably keep it moving. They just sold Leandro Trossard to Arsenal. Mitoma will get a move. Basuma got a move last year to Spurs, whether that's worked out or not. Benjamin White a few years before that. So Brighton know how to make money. But allegedly, Mikel Arteta's side are also looking at an alternative to Rice, and Caicedo has emerged as a strong option. So how much do we really want to go for him, really and truly? How much do we really believe that? Do we feel there's more positive signals in getting Declan Rice as opposed to Caicedo? Do Chelsea feel like that? I don't know. But we'll have to see, people, really and truly. It does say that we're looking to strengthen the depth in midfield, people. The man himself has said, I am focused on Brighton. I am here. I am playing every day. Things from the outside don't trouble me, nor does it take that focus away, because I'm only focused on here. I handle the speculation well. You hear rumors here and there, but I only try to be focused on the club where I am now, the club that opened the doors for me to be playing every week. It doesn't help him to say anything but that, really and truly. Currently, he's made 31 appearances. So think about it logically. If they've bought him for 31 million and they bought him, I mean, they bought him for probably 5 odd million, if that. After 31 appearances, they sell him for over 50. It's a madness. It pays to scout. And for Arsenal, I know it's easier said than done, but that winger at Napoli, was at Ruben Kazan. You know, obviously, Moises Caicedo, when he's playing wherever he was before Brighton, can we start trying to find these players before that? Mudryk, again, before everybody's kind of onto him? Because if we bidded for him in the summer, we have to have been watching him for at least a year or 6 months. Can we move for these guys, find these guys and move for them quickly or sooner rather than later before things like this happen, people? So we'll have to see, really and truly, in relation to specifically what's going to happen there. But for what it's worth, Moises Caicedo has changed his agents. Brighton want to keep him, but Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool are well informed on his situation. It is one to watch in the final days of the January transfer window, people. So we'll have to see. Fabrizio Romano also said, I also mentioned Moises Caicedo as an option for Chelsea, and he's one of the players in Chelsea's list. But Liverpool and Arsenal are having conversations with people close to the player, because Moises Caicedo has new agents since Monday. And obviously Arsenal, for instance, we tried to get Conde from Barcelona. We then got Benjamin White. So these sort of things happen. We didn't get Vlahovic. We got Jesus. So anything can happen, really and truly. It doesn't mean you're going to go for someone. It just means, if you do need to go for someone, what's the percentage you think you could get a deal done, quite frankly. Now these clubs are exploring the conditions of the Caicedo deal, but it's complicated to negotiate with Brighton. Brighton want to keep the player. De Zerbi would love to keep the player at the club, so not an easy one. But Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea are well informed on Caicedo, people. Some are even saying he could be worth 65 million, some reports, people. Crazy, isn't it? We've seen that already. Apparently, Arsenal could now miss out on Ivan Fresneda, with right back favouring a move to Borussia Dortmund, people. Dortmund have taken the lead over Arsenal in the race to sign the Real Valladolid Ivan Fresneda. We both agreed a £15 million euro fee. Both sides, people have agreed personal terms. The decision is now down to Fresneda. We heard on Monday and today, Tuesday, that he would, people, as you can see here as well. So who knows, people? The report claims Fresneda will not be swayed by whichever club offers to pay him the most, with his priority guaranteeing first-team football for himself. So it's down to Edu and Arteta to give him the pathway, people. Allegedly, he's leaning towards a move to Germany, which can you begrudge him with what Borussia Dortmund have done historically for the Haalands, for the Jadon Sanchos, for the Jude Bellinghams at present, Adeyemi, and obviously Makoko will get that move. And there's probably a bunch of other clubs, you know, even guys a bit older. Aubameyang kind of was a journeyman going on several loans in France, you know, made his and things like that, and obviously playing in Italy as a bit part player, made his name going to Dortmund really and truly. Lewandowski as well, even though Sam Allardyce tried to sign him for Blackburn, as you've seen before. So yeah, people. For what it's worth, we know Cedric is expected to join Fulham. Tomiyasu is our first choice option, allegedly, but has struggled with injuries. I say allegedly because Benjamin White, who's played there for Brighton and has played probably right back more times than he played centre back in his career already, is the first choice guy. Marca claim Arsenal have offered no guarantee of a place in Mikel Arteta's first team, with Dortmund now in a good position to complete the signing. Dortmund are also willing to let Fresneda remain at Valladolid until the end of the season before joining up with his new side in the summer. I couldn't begrudge him for joining others, but really, Dortmund are basically going to do the same thing we did. I would love Fresneda to sign for Arsenal, get some first-team football, train under Arteta, but I could also understand if Arteta said, you know what, you've just broke into the first team. Let's not disrupt your environment. Stay with Real Valladolid. You got the move in the back of your head. Just keep developing, and you link up with us next season. You know, if anything, Cedric could hang around like a spare part, although I'd love him to go to Fulham. And, you know, I do think we're strong with Benjamin White and obviously Tomiyasu there, but you're always an injury away from looking at situations differently. But Dortmund, for what it's worth, I'm kind of overselling it if they're on the same thing as we are. And you really think Arteta offered him no guarantee? Really? You know, there's no guarantees that you're going to play every week, but he's told him how good you are right now, how I can improve you, how you tie in individually, how you tie in collectively, and how you can improve. And obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say Zinchenko's not been a baller. You've seen it at City, but obviously City have less stars. At Arsenal, Zinchenko's been the guy, especially in big games. Chelsea away, Man United recently at home, Spurs away. You've seen it. So as a fullback, imagine what it'll do for you on the right-hand side. Look how Tomiyasu's played across the back three. I don't know. It's down to you, fella. But it'd be lovely if we signed him, people. He would probably be our third signing after Jakub Kiwior and obviously Leandro Trossard. As you've seen, they've been announced at Arsenal, people. The director of football over them sides has said we go hand in hand with their reps, who shows us the interests of many clubs. Okay, whatever that means. Arsenal allegedly are in pole position to sign Ivan Fresneda after breakthrough talks, people. The Gunners have climbed above Borussia Dortmund to be in pole position to land the right back on a buy to loan deal worth around 13 million after a breakthrough in talks. So again, you have to see exactly how these things they develop, people. Once again, Arsenal have also expressed an interest in Onana, more likely for the summer. So if let's just humor ourselves and say Onana really could go for 50 million, which he can. 50 million. Declan Rice is 80 to 100. Obviously, Moises Caicedo is about 50, 60, 70. So that kind of indirectly tells us, unless there's a different sort of profile, a younger guy, a situation we can take advantage of, we're probably not going to make any significant change on Arsenal's midfield or bring in a guy for a significant outlay or someone with a certain reputation until the summer. You know, someone like Telemans, you get free transfers and things like that. If he was to be available for pennies in Jan or something like that, maybe the club go for that, but maybe Arteta deems that's not where the big push is there, people. Allegedly, people, Ben Jacobs has said there's nothing too significant in McKennie links at this point, and there's been no contact with Juventus. So it seems like maybe his agent is trying to get him a move, people. Understand that Arsenal and Dortmund are now in front seats on the Ivan Fresneda deal. Newcastle described as a step behind crucial days, but no decision has been taken on Monday, as previously reported. Arsenal are in the lookout for a right back and a midfielder. If Cedric Suarez leaves, a move for a right back will happen. In midfield, they're exploring options, says Fabrizio Romano. Let's see what this is saying in relation to Valladolid. Dortmund is close to reaching what the club is asking. They want them to pay now and leave them on loan to earn money, and that the clauses that remain to be fulfilled. Fresneda and Valladolid are not carried out and do not affect their salary bill. Not sure what that means, but there you have it. Allegedly, people, Osman Diamandi, apparently a centre back who obviously plays for Midtjylland. Apparently, people, Arsenal have him in our sights. We've tried to buy the Ivorian player who's on loan at Mafra in the second division in Porto. We're apparently fighting Sporting. As apparently Sporting have lodged their offer, people, 7 million plus 1.5 million euros in add-ons. They're still insisting on 10 million. So we'll have to see how that happens. That seems more like a development sort of player. We bring him in, we sell him, probably like Austrian Tusty. Now, again, apparently, people, allegedly, Arsenal reportedly keen on Southampton youngster Jimmy J. Morgan. The teenager is in demand among Premier League clubs this winter. Apparently, long story short, he has said, I'm not signing a pro deal, people. At 17 years of age, allegedly he's weighing up his options. Now, I'm sure Arsenal and a lot of the top clubs would be interested in anyone, especially if you can make a profit or two, but we're not sure on the credibility of such people. So, yeah, he's also got interest from Leeds United as well. So read into that what you want. Eddie remains interested in signing Barcelona's Rafinha, allegedly, people. Let's skip to the bulk of this. It makes a lot of sense. Arsenal's interest in Rafinha. They're obviously very keen on signing him last summer before he moved to Barcelona. So I'm sure he's remained on their radar. Eddie was a big admirer of his fellow Brazilian as well and thinks he could be a good fit for Arsenal. That's great, but the boat's gone for him, really. You know, forget about it. This was earlier in relation to Onana. Initially unthinkable, the departure of Frank Lampard, coupled with the urgent need for liquidity at Everton, opens the door to the departure of Armando Onana this winter. Chelsea and Arsenal, who are looking for a similar profile, plus Newcastle United, have expressed their interest. To be continued, people, and we've seen this already, so I'm not going to bore you lot with that. But yeah, people, don't forget to smash the like button, turn on your notifications, and subscribe. Throughout the course of this video, we've obviously talked about Zubamendi, Declan Rice, Onana, Caicedo, Weston McKennie, and anything else. So let me know you lot's thoughts. Check out the rest of the vid. Stay safe, stay blessed, have a great week. I'm out.
There's always that active red flag. I think it's like